So everyone, and welcome back to more How Good Are These Characters, where today we're going to talk about more requested characters that have been requested in the comments. And today we're going to start with Emiri, or Emily, you can say either of them. So Emiri is, as we see in the type A support, which is good because his stats are bad. His stats are actually really bad, some of the worst SE stats in the game, but it's okay, she's a support, okay? So we're gonna see how good her support capabilities indeed are, and we're gonna go over her connect, which on one hand is a damage up, which is really good. Like I said, there's way too many sources of attack up on connects and magia, so having something that isn't attack up, like a damage up, is really good, because you need to have a mix of both. And then we see that apart from that, it also does dazzle on attack. And I'm going to not talk about this immediately right now, because we're going to see that there's a bunch more of this on the Magio, for example, which has a chance to dazzle all enemies for 47.5%. No scaling, sadly. Which, by the way, goes up to 100 if you're on the Doppel Kalima Shalima. And it also does a damage down to all enemies, once again not attack down, but damage down to all enemies, which is also really good, 40% against everyone, which is really nice for the defensiveness. And I'm going to very quickly go over the Spirit Enhancement before I give my verdict. So we can see that once again, these 4 nodes, some disc bonuses, damage cut, which is not always nice to have, skill quicken, which is also really awesome to have. And I think almost every support has this, which is good because you kind of want to have that sort of capability of using your active Memoria more often than before. Then also anti-charm, which is not going to come in handy on most cases, but it's a really cool thing to have. Sadly, it's not an anti-dazzle, which I think would have also been really nice to have both anti-charm and anti-dazzle on her. I think that would have been better, but okay. And also, but most importantly, the only really passive node that's super important is this one, chance to dazzle on attack as well. And then we look at her active, which is burn 100%, and once again chance to dazzle. So many, everything that she has dazzles opponents, which is amazing. By the way, the name is Irrlicht, which is the German word for the will-o-wisp, which is a combination of the words irren and Licht, with Licht meaning light, and irren being the word to, for example, get lost. Verirren is something that comes from there, or to err, to be wrong about something. And the reason why it's called this is because the will-o-wisp, the Irrlicht, is a light that if you follow it, you will get lost. It's an evil spirit. Anyway, enough about that. The idea behind her entire kit, as I mentioned, is that she dazzles with everything that she does on attack, on connect, on magia, with her active. Her doppel does it, guaranteed to everyone. It's actually kind of insane. So what does this mean for her as a support? Well, it means that she's hyper defensive as a support, because dazzle is of course something that is supposed to make you get hit less, because the opponent will miss attacks. On the other hand, however, of course, since dazzle is a level 3 status ailment, that not only makes it that the enemy cannot get healed while they are dazzled, but also makes it so they take bonus damage from the element they're weak against. For example, if you use this against a light type enemy, since Emiri is dark type, she will deal bonus damage to them. However, you sadly have to deal with the fact that a lot of enemies in really high challenge EX challenge quests will have some immunities to certain debuffs. Dazzle probably among them on a lot of quests as well. And even if they don't have immunities, they might have a really high status ailment resistances, which might be a problem because even if you have 100% chance to hit with dazzle, if the enemy, for example, has a 60% status ailment resistance, that will drop that down to 40%. And not just that, your on attack can't dazzle anymore, because it drops to below 0. Your active can't dazzle anymore, that also drops below 0. And your magia also can't dazzle anymore, because that also drops below 0% chance. So the only thing you have left is like 40% on connect and doppel. Not that great. And of course, like I said, they might have some immunities. But even then, I guess, usually enemies don't have resistances against the lower level effects like burn, for example, so it's good that you still have this on your active. Also, of course, if your enemy is still ailed, they can't evade, which might be good on those challenge nodes where the enemy has a Hikaru, because the horse Hikaru always buffs herself with 100% evasion, or might just passively have it, so it's really good to have something to just throw an ailment on her so you can hit her without having to rely on other sources of anti-evade. And of course, if you want to use your Dazzle to deal bonus damage to weak element, guess what? Burn does that too, so you can also do it that way. Overall, though, to give a verdict on Emiri, she's very cute, but more importantly, she's kind of built around this idea to be rather defensive by just keep applying Dazzle on the enemy and also applying damage down with the Magia and Doppel, which is really, really awesome if you can actually apply Dazzle over and over. And I know a lot of cheese strategies use an Emiri to keep applying Dazzle to make sure you get hit way less, to apply the damage down so you can survive way longer. It's really good in a stalling team as well. However, of course, she kind of gets completely destroyed by immunity to Dazzle or just high status aim and resistance. And if an enemy has either of that, she's kind of useless, sadly. You know who's not useless at all in any case is Manaka. And she's always good because she's also a support. I mean, it says healer right here, but she's a support basically. She's better at buffing than she is at healing, and we'll see that in a second. So Manaka's stats also aren't that great, or at least she has a little bit of defense, but also overall not that great stats. But it's okay, she's a support basically, so stats, whatever. We can take a look at her connect. It heals a bit, which is fine. We don't really care too much about that. Like, of course, healing is nice in tougher challenge quests to keep people alive, but it also gives attack up for some reason 5% higher than connects usually do. Usually connects to like 40%. Now it's 45. Doesn't really matter. The only really important thing about her is that she gives attack up to everyone 40%. Now, I've talked before about how there's certain supports that people usually like taking with them that can just spam attack up so they can quickly get to 100% attack up, and Manaka is one of the top choices, mostly because she's a free-to-play character that everyone just has at 4 slots basically, and 5-star, at least if you've been playing for a little bit. So it's trivially easy to have her at 4 slots, and she has that attack up buff for all allies. You only need to do this like twice, and everyone should be at around 100% because, well, it's only 80% if you do this twice because it's 40% per Magia. But of course, everyone has usually their own Memoria that gives at least 20% attack up anyway, so just 2 of these will get most people to 100% attack up for multiple turns, which is really nice, and it also heals all allies. So on any quests where you kind of want to get to that 100% bonus attack buff, or even on quests where you might need just a little bit of extra healing, Manaka is really awesome. And like I said, because she's free to play, she fits into many teams very easily because everyone just has her lying around. About her Spirit Enhancement isn't that amazing, to be honest, but it gets the job done. It does give her what she needs, but not a whole lot more. So of course, because she needs to be spamming Magia, it gives her 2 Excel MP gain up nodes instead of just the usual 1 that most people get. So she gets a total of 25% Excel up just passively, which is really good. So that she can keep spamming that Excel out there. She also gets a Magia seal so that she can keep using that Magia and not get sealed from it. She gets regenerate HP, some defense up for defensives. She gets the status aim and resistance to make sure that she doesn't get hindered by an ailment from her healing. So yeah, she makes sure that she can keep going, that she can keep healing, that she can keep using Magia, and that's basically what her SE is for, but it doesn't really do anything else. It doesn't really have some crazy over-the-top powerful node in there. It's just a bunch of good stuff that supports her supporting others. And her active, it has a low cooldown. Sadly, she doesn't have a skill quicken in her Spirit Enhancement like a lot of other supports have, and it's probably because she doesn't count as a full support and more of a heal. But even so, it's a fairly short cooldown, 6 turns. I don't think it's quick enough to use it twice in Kimochi, or either that, or you can use it on the first and last turn of Kimochi, I'm not quite sure. However, it's not that important. It just gives an attack up and to herself. Not that great on someone who has terrible attack, and it's just there for healing and attacking, healing and supporting. But at least it also gives an Excel MP gain up. So if you draw some Excel disc, if you draw just 1 Excel disc of her, that's when you probably use it. So that's something that you can use it for at least. But overall, she doesn't do anything super duper awesome amazing, but she's pretty decent across the board at what she does. She can keep using Magia, keep buffing people with attack up, keep healing a little bit here and there, and she can keep supporting herself by not getting Magia sealed, by regenerating some HP, having some defense, having some resistances, having some Excel MP gain up, and so on. So overall, very solid supporter that if you have some resources lying around, you should probably invest a little bit into. And also, she's very cute. Do you know who's also very cute? Someone else. But today we're going to talk about Oriko instead. So we're going to talk about Oriko, and a lot of people probably also already know this about her, but she is quite the cheese master. She likes all kinds of cheese, Gouda, Tilsit, whatever you can find that she has lying around. It's a moldy Limburg. But what is it that makes her so cheesy? Well, first off, her stats don't really matter. We don't really care about her stats. We take a look at her connect first, as we usually do, and we see that it gives an attack up, Excel MP gain up. Okay, she works well in an Excel team, I guess. It gives some crit, which I'm sure, whatever. If you're playing in an Excel team, you don't give a damn about crit anyway. But yeah, this gives some Excel MP gain up. That's quite good. Forget about all of that though. What are we here for? We are here for the cheese ray. So the cheese ray does the following. It douses all the enemies in this really my favorite kind of cheese, which is tilted by the way, and it deals a little bit of damage. It restores your own MP, and it has a chance to give cheese to Oriko herself for 100% chance. That's some. I like the taste of my tilted. I should have brought some tilted up because I've got some lying in my fridge back there. However, so you probably already know this before Spirit Enhancement, maybe if you played on the North American server, yeah, of course her Magia gives evade to herself. Other characters have that too, okay, but why is it so special about Oriko that she has that as well? Like I said, other characters have that as well. Other characters, like Ren for example, Ren also has guaranteed evade on her Magia. Like a bunch of characters have that. What makes her special? The following. We get a Spirit Enhancement, there's not two, 3 nodes of MP gain up over 100. What does that mean? It means the following. If you are above 100 MP and you start your turn with Excel, and then Magia, because her Magia restores MP to herself, and because when you're above 100 MP, you gain 60% bonus MP. If you do the maths, you will end up somewhere around 100 MP generated per turn. Does this mean she can use a Magia every single turn and have 100% uptime on evade? Yes. Yes, that she can actually do that. She can actually just do that. If you're above 100 MP, you use Excel Magia. The reason why you use the Excel first, by the way, is because once you use Magia, you will drop below 100. And when you drop below 100, then of course, you don't get the MP boost bonus anymore for being above 100. So since you're over 100, you start the turn out with those 2 Excels. Those 2 Excels will generate a ton of MP, getting you close to double, but you've already input your Magia. By the way, if you're on like 180 MP, for example, and you use 2 Excels and a Magia after that, and then you start the turn, your first Excel gets you to like 200, your second Excel does the same, also gets you to 100. Even though you're at 200 MP, because you've already told the game that you're going to use a Magia, you're still going to use a Magia. So you use a Magia, and because of the MP restore, you end up at 134 MP. Awesome. And then you can just do the same again next turn. So you're at 134 MP, and next turn you once again do Excel Magia, and you're gonna sit once again maybe like 134 MP, maybe a little bit more than that even. Not more than that, but you're gonna sit at like a lot of MPs, and you can just keep doing that over and over and over and over and over, and you're basically invincible. Unless the enemy has status ailments and you get hit by a status ailment and then you can't dodge anymore, because if you have status ailment on you, you can't evade. Or if the enemy just has anti-evade. Some challenge quests do have anti-evade, specifically to do something about this sort of abuse. But if you're on a challenge quest that you know doesn't have anti-evade and that you know doesn't use status ailments on you, you can just cheese it with Oriko, and the enemy can't do anything. Now, what if you accidentally get to double somehow? Let's say you have double unlocked, and you accidentally get to double, and you go, oh no, now that I've doubled, I'm gonna be on 39 MP after that double, oh no. Well, first off, you do, instead of doing XL Magia, you do double XL to get some MP back, but you probably you might not get to 100 again before the next turn. Oh no, does this mean we are dead? Have we lost? No, she has an active. Her active gives evade. And then you can just use the active, and then you're back to 100 MP, and then you can do XL Magia again next turn, and we're back in the game. Isn't that fun? What else does her Magia do? It has chances, glistening attack, who cares? Evade. Passively 15%. It's not gonna do much in most cases, but whatever. Just pile more memes onto this, I guess. And it has a chance to ignore damage cut, whatever, who cares. Like, none of this other stuff really matters too much. The only thing that really cares is like the MP boost nodes and the evade. Like, it has more MP boost than most other characters. I think the developers specifically wanted you to do this. In case you are playing this strategy and you might, and you, for some reason, you notice that you're not getting enough MP, just use any sort of passive Memoria that gives bonus MP, XL MP up, or just in general MP gain up. Either of those two, like XL up or MP gain up, either of those two. Just take a bunch of passive Memoria with that, and you're gonna be fine as well. So yeah, you can just do that and you're invincible. Awesome. So that was, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit that subscribe button and I'll see you guys next time.